Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Safna Aulia. Now I want to present about the seminar thesis proposal, and then my title is Analysis of Student Perception of Song-Based English Learning to Improve Vocabulary Skills in Elementary School.
Okay, the first chapter is chapter 1. The first one is the background of the study. Mastering English early on can help students to develop better language skill in the future. And then by Harmer 20 and 07, comprehension is the key in language learning because without good comprehension, students will have difficulty in developing speaking, listening, reading, and writing skills. And then one method that can be used to support student comprehension of English in an interesting and effective way is song-based learning. The use of song in language learning can improve students' vocabulary comprehensions through repetition of words in a fun context. The rhythm and structure of songs help students remember new words and understand their use in sentence. By Richard and Rogers, 20 and 01. And the second one is the focus of the study. Analyzing students' perception of song-based learning in improving English vocabulary in one of the elementary schools in S. Lombok, Nusa Tenggara Barat. And the third is the purpose of the study. The first one is to identify students' views on the contribution of songs to new vocabulary learning. And the second one is to assess the impact of song-based methods on vocabulary skills. And the third, to explore the challenges or benefits student perceives when using songs. And the last is the significance of the study. The first one is for English teachers, improving teaching strategies to improve creative and interesting teaching strategies in teaching English. And then for students, to help students remember new vocabulary more effectively through repetition in song and improve their understanding of correct sentence structure and context. Okay, the next material is the chapter 2, literature review. The first one is theories, language acquisition theories. Behaviorist theory, proposed by B.F. Skinner, this theory states that languages learned through stimulus response mechanism and reinforcement from the environment. And the nativist theory, Noam Chomsky argues that humans have an inbuilt language acquisition device, or LED, that enable them to produce new sentences rather than simply imitating. And then social interactionism. This theory emphasizes the role of social interaction in language learning, while children learn through engagement with adults who model language use, by Lev Vygotsky, 1978. And the second one about the theories of music and memory. Song aid vocabulary acquisition through melody and rhythm. This theory emphasizes that song media is effective in language learning, helping students remember vocabulary faster and increasing learning motivation, by Brewster et al. 20 and 02. And then benefits of song-based learning is increased motivation, and then vocabulary enrichment, and then improved speaking skill. And the last is the use of vocabulary. Proper use of vocabulary is an important aspect of communication. Vocabulary is easier to understand and remember if taught in a real context. Songs provide context through lyrics that often describe real-life situations, helping students understand how words are used, by Brown, 2000. And here are the vocabulary learning strategies. The first one is context. In this, teachers can present new vocabulary in a meaningful context, such as in a story or song. And then repetition. Students should regularly repeat new vocabulary to reinforce their memory. And then association, students are encouraged to connect new vocabulary with words they already know. And then visualization, teachers can use pictures or videos to help students visualize the meaning of vocabulary. And next, relevant study. The first one is a previous research by Richard and Rogers, 2001, found that the use of songs with repeat words in a fun context can help students remember vocabulary better than conventional teaching methods. And the second one, however, a gap in this research is that few students have explored students' perception of this method, especially in the local context, and most of the research has been conducted internationally, so there is still a gap in the literature regarding its application in Indonesia, especially in a region like Nusa Tenggara Barat. And the next about the theoretical framework. Theoretical framework, cognitive theory of multimedia learning by Mayer 2001 states that learning is more effective when information is presented through visual and auditory channels simultaneously. And the next about the research questions. The first one, main research question. What are students' perception of song-based English learning in terms of vocabulary acquisition and motivation? And the second one, sub-questions. How do students perceive the effectiveness of song in vocabulary learning? And the second one, how do songs affect students' motivation? And the third, what are students' emotional experiences when learning with songs? And the fourth, what is the role of social interaction in learning with songs? And the last, how do students remember the vocabulary learned through songs? And the last chapter, chapter 3, research methodology. The first one, research design. This study uses a qualitative research design to investigate students' perceptions of song-based learning in English language acquisition. And then this research also falls into the category of descriptive qualitative research, which aims to provide an in-depth picture of how students perceive and experiences the use of songs in English language learning at the primary schools level. And the second one is the setting of the study. The research setting is the place and time to conduct the research. This research will be carried out in one of the elementary schools in Lombok, Nusa Tenggara Barat that use song as learning. The duration needed in this research is about 1 semester. In this setting of study, the research setting refers to the place and time where the research is conducted. And then this study will be carried out at an elementary school in Lombok, Nusa Tenggara Barat. Of the research is expected to be approximately 1 semester. And the next about the participants of the study. Okay, in this research, I use 10 until 15 elementary school students in one of the school in Lombok who are randomly. And the next about the data collection methods. The first one, I use random sampling. When in this study, the random sampling method was used to select participants from a group of students who engage in song-based learning. And the second, I use semi-structured interviews. Semi-structured interviews to gather detailed perspective from students about their experiences in learning track songs, using open-ended questions to explore student perceptions. And the next, data analysis technique. The study uses thematic analysis approach to analyze data obtained from semi-structured interviews with students. The first one is familiarization with the data. After the interviews were complete, the data were recorded and transcribed thoroughly. The researchers reviewed the transcript several times to understand the content and context. The second one, coding the data. The transcribed data was divided into small meaningful segments through a coding procedure. Initial codes were developed to highlight recurring concepts or themes in student response. And then the third, identification of major themes. Similar codes were organized into main terms such as vocabulary improvement, enjoyable learning experience, motivation to learn, and challenges faced when using songs for learning. And the fourth, data interpretation and reporting. Interpret the data within the context and relevant theoretical framework, including Gardner's motivation theory and Mayer's multimedia learning theory. And the result of the analysis are presented in a structured narrative format enhanced with direct quotes from participants to clearly illustrate key points. And the next, trustworthiness. The first one is the triangulation. Use of multiple data sources such as interviews and classroom observation. And the second one is the member checking. I use the member checking to confirming the result of the analysis with research participants to ensure the accuracy of the data. And the next result. The study found that primary school students perceive songs-based learning as a fun and effective method to improve English comprehension, especially in vocabulary acquisition. The repetition of words in song helps students remember vocabulary more easily, and the fun and rhythmic nature of songs makes learning more interesting. The last about the conclusion. Song-based learning is a valuable tool for improving English comprehension in primary school students. This method not only helps in vocabulary recall but also increases student engagement and motivation. The findings suggest that incorporating songs in English lesson can be an effective and creative teaching method, providing teachers with a promising approach to support student language development. This research is expected to contribute to the development of song-based English learning methods, especially for primary school students in NTB.
Okay, maybe that's all for me. Thank you very much for your nice attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.